Hi Helen, can you tell me about this book we're talking about today?
Yes, certainly. It's called Moving On, and it's the life of Sir Rupert Grayson by the late Bob Scholfield. You may not know Rupert's name, but his colourful and adventurous life spanned the 20th century. I met him myself and I found him a fascinating character.
And what was the involvement with Bob Scholfield?
Well, they met in Spain, and Rupert bequeathed all his writing to Bob, who was a journalist, and after Rupert died, Bob thought it was well worth writing it up into his life story. So Bob completed this in the last year of his own life, and I was then left all of this writing. I first approached publishers and filmmakers and got a lot of interest and positive comments, but it came to nothing. I then decided to try and turn it into a biography, but it was really too much work and beyond me. I got the interest of a literary agent, then I left it for a few years. So finally, 15 years on, I decided it's now or never, and I'm going to publish it, which I've done.
Great. And who exactly was Sir Rupert Grayson?
He was from a wealthy shipbuilding family, think along the lines of Downton Abbey, and he became a king's messenger. He roamed the world, meeting the rich and famous, working in Hollywood for a while, and as a seafarer. He married twice, and he was a wit, an eccentric, and a successful author and an epicure.
Tell me a little bit about the particular style of this book.
This book is written in the style of a film, as Bob saw Rupert's life in a visual way. Rupert starts by reminiscing about his childhood. He saw a king's messenger when he was at Charing Cross Station in London, and he vows there and then to become one. So Rupert's many adventures and the urge to travel was the downfall of his marriages.
And what happened during the First World War?
Well, Rupert knew Rudyard Kipling and his son, and tragically a shell killed the son and it injured Rupert.
Mm. And perhaps you can give us a bit of a feel for some of his adventures.
Yes, Rupert met Scott Fitzgerald in Paris, and one drunken evening in Harry's bar they created a new cocktail which they christened the Desert Healer, and it possibly is still on the menu there. He travels to Russia, he encounters the traitor spy Kim Philby, and he charms his guide Tanya. He signs on as a seaman voyaging to South America and the Caribbean. He jumps ship, suspected of murdering the captain. A crazy drunken pilot in South Africa takes him for a spin. Was I flying with a slightly drunk madman or a slightly mad drunk? Another of his conquests is Mariette in the south of France, who saves Rupert's life when he wanders into a swamp and becomes caught in an old rope. I knew death had me by the throat, but at that moment I heard my name, at first whispered like a shiver of leaves through the trees, then louder until suddenly she was beside me, leading me with trembling hands down the tunnel of the path and out of the wood.
And I believe Rupert discovered an unknown Noel Coward poem in a rather strange place.
He did indeed, yes. He was flying from Chile to Peru with some diplomatic bags, and the small plane has to make an emergency landing in Arequipa. Rupert spends the night at a country house run by a Mrs. Bates, and in the guest book he discovers a poem which he believes to have been written by Noel Coward. Her name is plainly Mrs. Bates, a strange capricious whim of fate's, to crown with such banality so strange a personality. And it continues in this vein. Later on Rupert finds it is indeed by Noel Coward.
It certainly sounds like a really amazing life, Helen. How would you sum up the book?
Well, I think it's an antidote to the trials and tribulations of the modern day. It's amusing, romantic and adventurous. And there's nothing more pleasurable than losing yourself in another world. It's a world which is long gone, but we can look back upon it with nostalgia. So do take a look at the Facebook page for Moving On. It would make a wonderful film, but it's also a wonderful read. And it's available on Amazon, and you can see some of the excellent reviews, and it is now available for Kindle.
That's great, Helen. Sounds like it would be a really great read. Thank you so much for telling us about it.
Thank you. My pleasure.